Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Suraya Binti from 2A. My ID number is 2022923465. For your information, I have performed a mini experiment using sexual propagation, which is propagation using seed. First of all, I will explain what is propagation. Plant propagation is the process of creating new plants. There are two types of propagation, which is sexual and asexual propagation. Sexual propagation is the union of the pollen and eggs, drawing from the genes of two parents to create a new, which is third individual. Sexual propagation involves the floral parts of a plant. Asexual propagation involves taking a part of one parent plant and causing it to regenerate itself into a new plant. The resulting plant is genetically identical to its parent. Asexual propagation involves the vegetative parts of a plant, stems, root or leaf. Sexual propagation involves the union of the pollen with the egg to produce a seed. The seed is made out of three parts, which is the outer seed coat, which is protect the seeds, the endosperm, which is a food reserve, and the embryo, which is the young plant itself. When a seed is mature and put in a favorable environment, it will germinate, begin active growth. In the following section, seed germination and transplanting of seed will be discussed. There are many advantages that can be gained when doing this method. Among them are, firstly, new cultivars and varieties can be created through sexual propagation. It means that new types of trees will be produced through this method. Second, certain plants only be raised from seed. It means that there are trees that can grow through sexual propagation method only. It cannot use asexual methods such as grafting, budding, and so on. Next, large numbers of plants can be produced in minimal space. As far as we know, the seed size is very small and we can plant a lot of seeds in a small area like the planting tray that I used to carry out this mini experiment. Next, propagation from seed generally carries a lower risk of transferring disease from the parent plant. Propagation through seeds is not very susceptible to disease. For example, if doing asexual method such as grafting, two types of plant will be combined and it will cause disease transmission from one plant to another. And lastly, it tends to be cheaper to propagate from seed. The method of propagation through seeds is very cheap, because as we know, the price of seed in the market is sold at a reasonable price, and goods to do this method are also easily available and affordable. In this video, I plant the seed by soaking each seed in water that has a different temperature. I use three types of seed, which is okra, gailan, and spinach. For the temperature, I use 40, 60, 80, and 100 degrees Celsius. Each temperature will show different seed germination results. Okra, also known as lady's fingers, gumbo, or bindi, is the most important vegetable crop of the tropical and subtropical regions of the world. It belongs to the genus Abelmoscu and family Malvaceae. Okra is a multi-purpose crop value for its tender and delicious pods. Gailan, botanically classified as Brassica oleracea var. Alboglabra are thick stem plants that are members of the Brassica family, along with kale, collard greens, broccoli, and cauliflower. Also known as kailan in Cantonese, Chinese kale and Chinese broccoli in English, and jilan in Mandarin. There are many different varieties of gailan sold through fresh market, specialty grocers, and seed catalogs. Gailan is one of the most popular vegetables found across Asia, and for its thick, tender stems and bittersweet flavor. All parts of the plant, including the leaf, stem, flower buds, and flowers, are edible. And gailan primarily utilized in Asian stir-fries, soups, and as a side dish. Green spinach is from the Amaranthaceae family plant. Its scientific name is Amaranthus gangeticus. Its English name is red spinach. It is an annual flowering tree that has dark green flowers. It is able to grow as tall as 2 until 3 feet tall. Spinach is one of the easiest vegetables to find in Malaysia. It is popular with various sections of the community because of its delicious taste. Spinach consists of several variations that are often distinguished by the color of its leaf. Common types is white spinach amaranthus varieties and red spinach amaranthus gangeticus Hort. This is the equipment and material that I use for my mini experiment. Firstly, we have 3 types of seeds, scissors, thermometer, polybag, 4 containers, organic soil, and lastly we have planting tree. Now I will show how I do my mini experiment. First of all, we have to provide all the material and equipment such as hot water, container, and thermometer. And the most important thing is 3 types of seeds. First of all, we have to make sure the water is at the right temperature, which is 40, 60, 80, and 100 degrees Celsius. So how we can make sure the temperature of water is at the right temperature? We can use this thermometer. For example, 40 degrees Celsius, we can put the thermometer in the water and see the number at the thermometer. And then put the 3 types of seed into the water. And then we have to soak these 3 seeds in the allotted time. We can use the timer on the phone to make sure the time is right. And then put the seed that we have soaked in the container into the plant medium. Lastly, water the seed regularly. This is is the result for my mini experiment. Based on the data obtained by my mini experiment, all seedlings managed to germinate, but the seed that soaked in the water with the temperature of 40 and 60 degrees Celsius germinate much quicker than the other plant seeds. They started growing earlier and had grown the most by the end of this experiment. It started showing changes at about 3 days, while seed planted at temperature of 80 and 100 degrees Celsius take a few days to germinate. This experiment is prone to the possibility of many errors that may affect my result. Among them are inaccurate temperature readings, inaccurate seed selection, that is damaged seeds, improper care of seedling, and so on. Thermometer play a very important role in this mini experiment. This is because we can know the temperature of the water through the thermometer. If the thermometer is not exactly as we want it to be, the result will also not be accurate. It will cause the seedlings not to germinate and so on. Why is the difference in growth between treatment? Each seed shows a difference during germination. This is because I use different temperature to soak the seeds. The result that I got for this mini experiment was that I found that seeds grown at low temperatures germinate faster than seeds grown at high temperature. This is because the process of seed germination requires appropriate condition and requires 3 important elements such as water, air, and appropriate temperature. If the temperature is too high or too low, the seeds will not germinate. The ideal temperature for germination in Malaysia is around 25 to 35 degrees Celsius. For the conclusion, seeds are important to future of our planet. Seeds have naturally found ways in which to provide the best opportunity for making more plants without help from humans. Seeds have ability to germinate in the presence of moisture, air, and light under the right temperature, even in the absence of soil.